What's going on, boxing fans? It's Jonah Williams with The Distance. Got a prediction video for you guys. Fast Fred Oquendo versus Marc Mormeck. Matchup takes place on May the 6th in France. Puts together former cruiserweight champion, a unified cruiserweight champion, and Mormeck against, pretty much a solid heavyweight veteran contender in Fred Oquendo. Mormeck, just came off a 2-year layoff, fought on Vinny Matalone back in like December. He's been out for 2 years after that knockout to David Hay. And Fred Oquendo, had a couple fights last year. He fought Bruce Seldon. Really, it's not a victory that says anything to me, because we all know Bruce Seldon's been around for years. Bruce Seldon's been around since I was probably a baby. So, and then he had another fight back in, I think, February, which was I think it was a stoppage victory, knockout stoppage victory. But overall, you do have a solid heavyweight fight, but not a very good heavyweight fight. It's really it's a fight that's just simply a fight. Mormeck, I highly doubt that he will ever, become a big name in the heavyweight division. That's just my opinion. I don't think he'll become a big name. He's 37 years old, and right now he's starting from the bottom of the line, bottom of the list basically. He's gonna have to move himself up, and maybe it'll take him a while to do so. And on top of that, he doesn't fight that often. He's just coming off of a 2-year layoff. So he doesn't fight that often. On the other hand, Fast Fred Oquendo was actually about to face Olenio Solis back in like October. Was supposed to fight him for that Latin Fury card that featured Yorkis Gamboa, Juan Manuel Lopez, and Solis ended up having to fight. He ended up having to fight Monty Barrett instead because of, I guess, some legal problems or some issues going on within the Oquendo camp. So he couldn't fight Solis, and that would have been a really good fight. But I think that Fast Fred Oquendo pretty much is just a gatekeeper. I guess what they're doing with Oquendo's just a guy you put in the ring with, or a fighter gets put in the ring with Oquendo when really, maybe as a replacement or whatever. But Oquendo, I think he will. I think with Oquendo, I think he'll continue getting some opportunities, but really his days are numbered. But anyway, over onto the fight. Fred Oquendo throws a very good left hand lead. Doesn't necessarily throw a stiff jab, but he kind of flickers the jab out. Has the reach advantage in the fight. Heavyweight division is his home, so he has that advantage as well. He has a size advantage. He has the reach advantage. So Fast Fred Oquendo, who isn't necessarily a big power puncher, really needs to focus on boxing in this fight. Mormeck kind of stands. He has a tight guard, and he protects himself very well from the jab. Fred Oquendo really wants to have Marc Mormeck protecting himself from the jab the entire fight, because if he's protecting himself from the jab the entire fight, then Mormeck, isn't going to get a chance to capitalize unless he stops throwing the jab. So Fred Oquendo needs to stay on the outside. He needs to keep the range. He needs to pump out the left jab and throw jab combinations. Really, and other than that, he needs to pretty much fight from angles as well. If he can fight Mormeck from angles, then Mormeck is going to have to adjust to those angles. And Mormeck does have trouble fighting from the outside. He pretty much gets his stuff done on the inside, and he has to be in close, because usually when he walks in, he kind of walks into shots with that style, and he kind of has that tight guard, kind of like this, and then he doesn't really throw any punches when he walks in. He just kind of walks in, like he's, I can't even say, like he's some type of, one of those guys on those like little pills from the Vietnam War and World War II movies. It's really what he walks into. He's kind of walking in the war. And Oquendo needs to take advantage of that, and he needs to get points off basically throwing combinations from the outside. And pretty much he needs to take that big step to the side when Mormeck is walking in. And really he just needs to outwork him, and as well he needs to slip in the right hand. He does a very good job of sneaking in that right hand. He doesn't, and sometimes he doesn't throw the jab when he's sneaking in the right hand, but he just sneaks it in. And really, that's what he needs to do in the fight. He needs to focus on boxing. He needs to stay on the outside. He needs to fight. I wouldn't say necessarily fight a disciplined fight, because you do get a really good disciplined fight with Oquendo. But Oquendo just needs to use pretty much that reach to his advantage. That's his primary weapon in this fight, using the reach to his advantage. And when Mormeck comes in, he needs to take that big step to the side, because Mormeck, if he takes that step to the side, Mormeck's going to have to turn as well. So when he takes that big step to the side, Mormeck turns, he needs to throw more jab combinations. That's really what he needs to do in this fight. Marc Mormeck, as I mentioned, protects himself very well from the jab and straight punches, but has trouble protecting himself from the right hand. In this fight, I think he does need to jab more in this fight. He needs to jab more, and he needs to go to the body as well in this fight. If he goes to the body, then he could wear Oquendo down. But the only problem, though, is, how is he going to get inside that 80-inch reach? It's plain and simple. Mormeck does do a very good job of kind of slipping to the side and coming in. Slipping to the side and coming in, but sometimes he doesn't really get his shots off on the inside the way he wants to. But as I mentioned, slips to the side, he comes in, and he digs into the body. Does a good job of throwing hooks and uppercuts to the body. Knows how to sneak in the right uppercut, and he does everything very well from a close range. And Oquendo's type of fighter, maybe around 6 or 7, he's a different fighter than he was in rounds 1 through 4 or 1 through 5. He's a different fighter. He doesn't work as much. He kind of wears down. He tires down. As I mentioned, his work rate goes down, so he needs to take advantage of that. He needs to utilize that to his advantage. So, like I said, Mormeck needs to come in, power shots to the body. And pretty much what he needs to do early on is he does need to get in some power shots to the body early in the fight, because later in the fight, it could wear Oquendo down. So he does need to get hooks to the body. He needs to kind of do that thing where he has the hands up, he kind of steps to the right side and comes in, or step to the left and come in. And really, that's how he could win this fight. If he could wear down Oquendo, get Oquendo on the ropes, and I would like to see more of a jab from Mormeck. If he can jab a bit more, and then work his way to the inside, then he can have Oquendo, right where he wants him, on the ropes, ring cut off, because he does have to cut off the ring to get to Oquendo and get inside that jab. And really, he, as I mentioned, has to wear him down. He's gonna get what he wants, if he can do that. But if I had to make a choice for this fight, due to the fight being in France, in Paris, France, I'm gonna go with Mormeck. I think that Mormeck can win this fight. And I think it'll be a close fight. It's 10 rounds. So I do think that Mormeck could take this fight by I'd say unanimous decision. I'm going to go with Mormeck, unanimous decision in this fight. And I'm not saying that he's going to win because it's at home for him, but I just think that he does have the ability to pour it on when the time's right, and pretty much knows when to pour it on. I think he's going to pour it on against Oquendo. And Oquendo is the type of fighter that's come up short quite a bit in his career. I do personally think that he did defeat James Toney in that championship match for the minor title December 2008. I thought he, December the 5th, I believe. I thought he defeated James Toney in that fight. And you can debate Chris Bird, you can debate Evander Holyfield as well. So, me, I'm going to go with Mormeck by a unanimous decision, 10-round unanimous decision. But anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.